Can't go see.
Now, one match is a man to as from Simpson never. Don't
allow them. Don't allow them. Don't allow them.
Portugal World Cup.
Don't allow them.
You're gonna agree with my man.
They have ending come. It's all about UEFA Champions League now. The big match in the bit to was Stamford Bridge. The game between Chelsea and then Barcelona. A bit to I'm looking at the two coaches who met me, two clubs, no Edegard, no. I'm making sure say they will formulate a lot of tactical policy just to invent their favorite club to actually win this particular game. So we'll check Hans Flick. If it's over fact. Barcelona Football Club. No? In terms of see a ball into the Champions League, this man has been able to do very well, especially with last season, what he was able to use Barcelona Football Club to actually reach the UEFA Champions League semi-final. And Sana, Edine Efrima or no Entimianko into the final. But as you compare to Enzo Maresca, since the key Chelsea Football Club, the first major competition of ball in Europe was only about the Conference League. Last season, he was able to win that particular competition for Chelsea. So in terms of trophy in this particular European competition, Hans Flick has not been able to win a trophy with Barcelona, but we are talking about the side of Enzo Maresca or no Chelsea Football Club to win the European Conference League and wait me when it comes to Europe, the trophy anymore papa friends Hans Flick, but domestically, so Upu be waiting me are dominating within his provinces. Waiting me even his domestic league, other competitions in domestic league. It has been a certain Barcelona Hans Flick. Waji the La Liga, at the Copa del Rey, at most of the important domestic league trophies are with the Spanish La Liga or Edema Barcelona. But to Enzo Maresca, last season or the Club World Cup, and 8 cement, one of the biggest, and I say one of the greatest, and I say the quality, coach, last season, or did the side of Chelsea Football Club, the Club World Cup, meeting big and huge football clubs are all bomo at that particular level. It is all checking these particular two football coaches. Obia want the quality, Obia want that kind of strength in his identity, with him at these particular two football clubs. But so we'll check Hans Flick, the rate at which I with me I'm making sure. Say at the time I all free the side of the German national team. By the side of Barcelona, no wait me you so another football club the UEFA Champions League in that. So over that kind of experience, or war in any other football club as or forward, at least one for 1 year, you semi-final be the obeti to work but with the side of Enzo Maresca. This is the first time he is taking a football club in a Champions League era or making sure that this club can easily go out from the knockout stages and even move out into the semi-final or into the finals of this particular competition. So in terms of these particular two coaches, the experience ever high in the dugout, I will choose Hans Flick over Papa Enzo Maresca on that particular level. Then you talk about the two football clubs. Barcelona currently, as you speak, in terms of UEFA Champions League, they have been able to win 5 trophies in their particular cabinets. As compared to Chelsea, and also UEFA Champions League, and also team winning 2 trophies at their tour. So these two clubs at the UEFA Champions League as compared to other competitions you must also a team at their moment. But we are going to see a fine football because we are going to see Hans Flick, who always plays in the high principle of football, and we're going to see Enzo Maresca, also a strategic coach. Most of the times he looks at the strategy of the opponent and some also to mount a good tactical policy at the amount on one Casane Football Club. But it is a good news for Chelsea because Moises Caicedo will be starting in the midfield compaction against the side of Enzo Fernandez in that particular correct midfield for Chelsea Football Club. But any more will be played in Pedro Neto, João Pedro, and Alejandro Garnacho. Maybe William Estevao will be to me actually the free bench. But looking at the possible lineup, Eliki from Chelsea Football Club camp, also Estevao on that particular form as against Garnacho, but in the terms of Onwankasane tactics, how he is able to utilize most of these chances for Garnacho, that's the reason why Obono in this particular first 11. In the frontal attacking third, Nipo Bebo as a number 9 in the fox of Chelsea Football Club. Omakasa opponent box one will be Liam Delap on Ubit Majinaho, Ediama Chelsea Football Club. Then you talk about FC Barcelona, the 4-2-3-1 tactical system will be augmented. The game that they played over the weekend, almost 4-0. We saw Hans Flick all changing in sound, not the 4-2-3-1 tactical system, but he played the 4 4-2-4 tactical system for Barcelona Football Club. But we're going to see another tactical system a bit ama the side of Barcelona etimi ashe against the side of Chelsea Football Club. But so who did Chelsea home command? Now, since last season coming into this particular season, they've been a particular router. So we are selecting the first 11 ABOU on the field of player. We have 3 router. Most of these starting 11 efforts so thriving very well when they are doing their transition. As I will check it, Chelsea Football Club, baby omo transition the most has been the full back area. That's the wing side. Now in the left side of Chelsea, omo make it 38 transitions over there in terms of percentage. In the middle, that is the vertical positional role. They've been able to have 24% when it comes to that particular positional role for Chelsea Football Club. And also in the right side, they've made 38%. So both in the left side and the right side, 38% are par. That shows that only Chelsea ever they don't mostly transition most of their balls in the midfield, but they try as much as possible to transition their balls either from the left side and either from the right side. And one with the team side and the Edema Chelsea Football Club is either Mark Ukrela or Nobo in the left fullback position. And answer is either Rich James or Nobo in the right fullback position. I try as much as possible say so Nobo in the 4 solid backer. Nipam Yunube, then these 2 fullbacks will override their opponents in that particular midfield area because a certain Moises Caicedo and then Enzo Fernandez into the midfield. So Rich James sometimes becomes an inverted midfielder, but Nipo but as an inverted solid midfielder. And these 2 center pairs is someone called Mark Ukrela who makes it so easy for this particular Chelsea Football Club to thrive on any other count. Maybe your tactical awareness now, then you understand how Chelsea so more against team or the swift fluidity footballer. Quite also a kind of football for Enzo Maresca. Now, young rolling young the first picture and you didn't come now, Adia Enzo Maresca by Chelsea Football Club. What team ya Chelsea they say whenever Chelsea share or more transition as they played in the playing back style for Chelsea Football Club. It's what Chelsea are. So more against Manchester City, they try as much as possible to play in the playing back style against Liverpool. This game was actually played against Liverpool, and Liverpool one particular teamer omobo high pressing, game pressing, and making sure that the shadow pressing, the M2M press system is actually augmented in attacking moment of Liverpool Football Club. But then they needed to take the ball down with a composed defensive backline. No more making sure they will try as much as possible to transition the ball in the defensive backline of Chelsea. Way the main sweeper or person or carry the ball from the defensive structure into the midfield of Chelsea Football Club. Now, so we'll check arrow down. The first arrow goes straight into the midfield. That is the vertical positional role for the side of Chelsea into the central midfield. And the second arrow also it goes straight into the left-hand side of Chelsea or more flank. So when the is a certain Mark Ukrela and the is either said by no better Shirley a bit not transition ball from the vertical position to the central midfield just to get Obi the same Moises Caicedo who comes in to get the ball. The first inline generator in that particular midfield will be Moises Caicedo a pass ball just for Enzo Fernandez to carry the ball progression manner into the attacking tail for Chelsea. But so check here. He needed to take 2 because of how they do it. Now, so we don't call the second one. Now, he needed to go straight into the midfield just to get Obi the same Moises Caicedo for him to make sure say so no enya ball now or be attracted 2 players within himself just to make availability of space for Papa and friend say Mark Ukrela to get on time on the ball. So in the left-hand side, he will be free up most of the spaces, and Nipa over the left flanks will get enough space to become an incisive player. Mark Ukrela will carry on the ball smoothly for Chelsea Football Club. So at that particular moment, Moises Caicedo needed to get the ball, swift the ball just to prepare Mark Ukrela for him to transition the ball in the left flanks of Chelsea Football Club. Yeah, called the third one. Now there's Mark Ukrela at that particular material moment because of some a lot of overloads. The left flanks didn't Chelsea needed to attract more than 4 players within the left flanks at a possible time. At the moment Mark Ukrela these players needed to get on time into the left flanks. They will create a lot of numerical superiority against the opponent. Papa and friends say Hansi Flick. So about the hard line defensive setup now, or no chance to free the right fullback position. On chance to free the left fullback position. That is the reason why Mark Ukrela in this particular game will be instrumental tool for Enzo Maresca Onubetime used very well in attacking side of Chelsea Football Club. So we are Alejandro Garnacho. The entire makers Alejandro Garnacho understands that kind of asymmetric role being played with Mark Cucurella. The entire version I say more than Obi say William Estiva on a major one. So Alejandro Garnacho needed to come into the left hand side, then make sure say Onubetime about the 1-2-1 combination together with Mark Cucurella in that particular left flank. Now you call the next picture. See, I got the next picture. Now, Papa is a Mark Cucurella. Whenever he gets the ball, he makes sure say he creates another space in attacking third. When he gets the ball now to move the ball now, the space don't be created or attacking third. No, it is called the hyper flank space in that particular moment. Baby, I mean Liverpool for defenders in the midfielder. Yeah, that kind of rectangular, circle, is all about Kwayam. Chelsea for so it created that space intentionally just to make sure say the false number 9 will drop into that particular space together with the typical creative and drop it into that space. Use that space just to capitalize on most of the chance we make creative at Chelsea Football Club. So that was Mark Cucurella trying to create the hyper flank space in that particular attacking third. Now, when the air sound it is Enzo Fernandez swifting in from the as a number 10, coming into the left flanks and making sure say he will channel most of these particular passes into the attacking third. Now, so we're attacking to the DIABY. We have close to about 6 players in attacking third of Liverpool or Manchester attacking third. Chelsea is not playing against Liverpool, but they made that particular example. Now, 6 players at that particular attacking third. What it means, they say 5 players and also 4 players into the penalty yard box. It means when they are going into the penalty yard box, they play a particular tactical system called the MON-FRI system. 4 players into the attacking system. You know, there are 2 players just outside the penalty yard box. The entire Papa Enzo Maresca about that tactical system. So when you have 4 players in the middle of the penalty yard box, they will try to destabilize the defense of the opponents. That's simple. Then Nipa Mechi and outside the penalty yard box will try to say at the moment or more into the penalty yard box, the best say chances. These 2 players will come in and bounce back. And so here penalty yard box next year, we have 2 solid players or more just behind the 4 players into the 18-yard box or more protecting that particular back line for Chelsea to create more numerical advantage and make sure say they will score. So this is Chelsea, Enzo Maresca, come first to end the transition. But to prepare say Hansi Flick, Madika didn't come out there Chelsea. The game that he played over the weekend, one was the 4-2-3-1 tactical system, but then he needed to play the 4-2-4 tactical system for Barcelona, and that is actually augmented. So over the 4 now, see, most switching the first picture for Barcelona, the man fancy. Now Barca about the 4 men with the defensive structure. It means that 4 men and stay compact. More defense, so they comes into the central method of Omankasa a half and try say make create a lot of numbers in the midfield. But so checking the opponents know just about 5 players in the midfield. But then and now Hansi Flick about the highline presence of football he needed to make sure say the defenders at a usual the 4 back line a bit more as a hybrid midfielders, and at the same time during counter-attacking system they will go back and then formulate 5 defensive structure into the defensive half of Barcelona, Mancasa, opposing half. And no Emma Barca, and that kind of strength, just to counter. In most of the counter-attacking system, the opponents, the ABOU Editiomo, they have only 2 people in the midfield. And then 4 solid attackers on mobile. What it means is say Sebasa Enya ball. That's what in a swift attacking moment, they try as much as possible to generate a lot of numerical advantage over the opponent. But so Mulusu ball now, how a Barca Faso a quick recovery, a very poor. And maybe Hansi Flick will have a lot of things to do in this particular game. Now Barca into the attacking third. When everyone wants the opponents in Enya ball piano, they create close to about 3 players surrounding the main player when you're born. It means that they don't come in with a man-to-man pressing system of football, but they come in with an overdose pressing. Overdose pressing, they say, send the back over the opponents in Benya not surround in the pan bear miensa, as surrounding our mojibo in difference. Overdose pressing, it made the football become easy for Papa Hansi Flick. So into the first half, not much of the first goal, 3 players or 4 players needed to surround that particular player for them to get the ball. The moment on my side, it means just one thing: quick transition. And in this particular season, for one team, a quick transition in all competitions, it has been FC Barcelona DIABY. in terms of quick transition, so being your ball, not on your quick end transition, and making sure so a lot of goals. It has been Barcelona among any other club this season in all other competitions. But Chelsea Football Club, in terms of quick transition, no form as compared to Barcelona. Barca will close to about 89% in terms of quick transition, and then Chelsea Football Club, it was 70% in terms of transition. So when you're born now, they try as much as possible to move into the attacking third. Barca will switch it, they call the third one, the Amamia. Barca, when it comes to the attacking third, and that's when it comes to the penalty yard box of their opponent, they play the flat formation for themselves. The flat formation is the 4-2-4 system. 2 players and also 3 players into the penalty yard box, and just 1 player outside the penalty yard box. Try as much as possible to create the rectangular style in attacking moment or meeting the show at any moment in time. It's going to be a difficult game. Chelsea ABOU, but I don't see Chelsea winning this particular game. Barcelona is going to win.
What score line?
2-1 for Barcelona.
As I'm about to say, Chelsea 2-1
yes. On my show.
Mate.